I was browsing HeadFire the other day, looking at the discussion on FiiO's M11 Pro, and one of the, of course, issues is that it only has one micro SD card slot compared to the M11, which has two. So that limits the amount of music you can take, and some people like to take as much music as possible. I mean, even if you can't listen to all of it. So anyway, someone said, "Oh, I'll just get a 1 terabyte SD card because they're cheap these days." And I thought, really? SanDisk only fairly recently came out with a 1 terabyte card. I mean, they're state of the art. You're telling me they're cheap now? So I went and looked on Amazon and, I asked how much he paid for it. It was only about $30. And so look what I came up with. $30 micro SD card? Well, I think the 3 stars out of 5 should give it away. I mean, apart from all the fake reviews, now still companies are gaming the system with reviews. What they do is they will buy it from Amazon, so that it shows that they genuinely purchased product, and then they will review them with 5 stars, and then of course they get reimbursed for this piece of junk. Now these things are of course not 1 terabyte cards. They are probably like 10 gigabyte cards with flashed with firmware that makes them look like 1 terabyte cards. And what happens is when you try and write 1 terabyte to them, it just rewrites over the same spot over and over and over and over again. And so like you can test this. You can go and buy one, put on a large file that's over, say, maybe even a few hundred megabytes or whatever, and you'll find that the file is corrupt. And it's because it's you don't have 1 terabyte on there, and there are heaps of these things. I mean, I've just found a few, and they're all they either have odd brand names or no brand name. Very often, I mean, even this one, you can see consider this Amazon Choice product with higher ratings. This Mac One, never heard of them. Then you can see EWFBG. What? Who is this? And these things have been up for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm surprised that, considering they should have a large quantity of returns, that there isn't like a flood of returns and Amazon doesn't shut them down. I mean, Amazon is just shocking with this stuff still. Here's a no-brand one, $23.45, down from was $26.99. Really? This stuff is rubbish. And this is a real micro SD card. This is the SanDisk at 1 terabyte. And look at the price difference. It is $260. Well, essentially, down from $450, which is what you get for state of the art. Now, if you click on 512 gigabyte, the 512 ones are around from various companies are around somewhere around the $80 mark. So that 512 has come right down below $100. But if you want 1 terabyte, you are going to be paying for it. So with these other junk things, they just avoid them. They are rubbish. They're not real cards. Now imagine that some poor person decides, like, oh, look, 1 terabyte's really cheap. I might shoot a ton of photos with my camera on holiday. They go on holiday, shoot a ton of photos, come back, and they're all corrupt because none of them got written to the card because the card's only like a 10 gigabyte card or something like that. I mean, Amazon is just ridiculously irresponsible in this. You cannot trust Amazon. You can't trust reviews. But what you always do when you go onto Amazon is you should check the 1-star reviews of a product, as it will tell you what's wrong with it. And if you've got a fake product, you'll know pretty quickly. So these things, you cannot get a 1 terabyte card for less than a genuine brand name. 512 from someone like SanDisk, or Samsung, or Toshiba, or LG, or Silicon Power. And there are probably a couple of other brands I've missed. But anything that's no brand or some random brand and it's too good to super cheap, it is rubbish. It's not a real card. So has any of you gone out there and bought one of these super cheap cards or had any experience with this too? How have things gone with your DAP, with even a genuine card? What brands have seemed to work out for you? And I've listed the ones that I know of off the top of my head, which are good. So I thought I'd make this quick video warning people, don't go out and buy junk, because you'll just waste your time and send money to these scammers. Essentially, these people who make these ultra cheap cards are scamming. So post in the comments below and let me know, and I hope this was useful to someone. And if so, if I've ended up saving you money or saving you time, please consider becoming a supporter, as you can get my advice anytime. Other than that, thanks everyone, and let me know in the comments what your experience has been.